It kind of looks like it's more severe now. Almost straight west east. It's gone from north to more east.
Oh, it's coming straight west.
Yeah, straight east. Yeah. All right, 6 o'clock. We'll call the meeting in order with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us for the June 2nd, 2025 City of Credit River Council meeting. We'll begin by approving or amending the agenda. Is there any changes to the agenda a council member would like to make tonight? Otherwise, I will take a motion to approve.
I just like to add, I'm doing on staff reports.
Okay.
Dove coating.
Yeah, you can talk about dust coating staff
I'll make-
reports.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you,
Second.
Leroy. Thank you, Jay. Motion by Schomer, second by Soderbach. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Deputy Strack, good evening. If you don't mind stepping to the podium, turn the microphone on. The floor is yours.
Council Mayor, we have broken to 6 pages of activity.
Wow.
I know, we just keep going up and up and up.
Yeah.
I guess that's a good thing. maybe. Nothing stood out on the report. A lot of traffic again. I don't see anything that really stands out that's like eye opener. So any questions on the report?
Jeff, maybe were you apprised that the accident happened on 21 on Friday, the motorcycle?
No, I don't work Fridays. Was it Friday evening?
5:45 or something,
Where was it at?
Pheasant Ridge and 21, right in the corner.
Oh, right where the fatal was.
Yeah. The rumor has it, understanding is that a car cut a motorcycle off and ran him into the ditch.
I would not be surprised.
Yeah.
I had a car doing 101 miles an hour on there today. So
Wow, did you get him?
Yeah. He stopped for the lights. So no, my lights. I mean, I hit the median, but
Jam it to the floor, Jeff.
no, he pulled over.
Oh, God.
He knew it, huh?
I don't know what to tell you. I don't know how we can change it there. I can write tickets all day long and it's
Yeah,
just not going to stop. It's an interstate.
holy, it's worse than an interstate.
Yeah.
101 is,
Well, yeah.
that's a little.
I mean, I see on average, I see
72?
65 to 75 miles an hour
Yeah.
easily. You know, and I run on my 10 hours of a shift, I could run 8 hours of it and they just continuously nonstop. I mean, there's so much traffic that goes in and out of there, which
Yeah.
is a good thing. It's going through, you know, going from Prairie Lake to Lakeville and Lakeville to Prairie Lake. But
That speed is ridiculous.
yeah, I mean, you're going to get that now that it's getting warm. They get their hot rod cars out and they like to get it up and going. But
Yeah,
I'm just trying to pull up and see if I can see
no worries. It's
what it is.
probably preliminary. It just sounds like, I know there was some residents concerned about some road design issues and stuff, but it sounds to me more of a speed / not paying attention, driver error when you're gonna run a motorcycle off the.
Yeah, and I don't
off
know
the
how
road.
you'll you're not going to change. You can't change that road. It's there.
Yeah,
It would cost you billions of dollars to change the road. If it was the same side, same direction of travel and the car cut them off, there's nothing you can do.
yeah, I'm not sure.
only
what the
thing would be like
direction
a-
of travel
would
or
be
any of
like
that, but
Putting up the metal guardrails like they do on the interstates where you can't cross the medians.
I think that's, one of the things that probably the engineer would say is restrict access would be their first.
Yeah, from crossing the medians. So that's why they do it on the 35s and 169 is because
Yep.
you hit those and it actually slows you down or keeps you on it.
Right.
Oh,
with the little wires.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's the cheapest. You can't, I mean, it's way cheaper to do that than it is the cement barriers. So you're restricting the access. The problem we run into is that fatal that was there. It would have happened anyways, because that went right through. If you went back when it happened, it drove right through that turn lane,
Yeah,
and there you can't put a barrier there.
unless you,
So it was
Unless
just
it
that just
just become
that
right
just
in, right
happened,
out, yeah.
Like it was. I mean, not something we all want to happen, but it was. You can't stop that
Mhm.
because there's no barrier. I haven't seen. I mean, the motorcycle and that, there's not a lot of crashes really out there. And that's where the state
Yeah.
would step in and be like, there's not a lot.
right.
Um,
I think before the motorcycle one, Tony Winnicky at County Highway said you have to go 2,000 feet from that position to find another accident. So now-
before they would even look at it.
Yeah,
right.
there wasn't any other recorded accident within 2,000 feet of the intersection
No,
before those
and
two now.
before you guys put the stoplights in at
Natchez.
Eagle Creek in 91, there was lots of crashes there, but that's why that, and
Mhm.
we haven't really had a major crash in an intersection since.
There was one happened right after the lights went out.
Yeah,
The foggy day one.
The foggy day
Yeah.
on the dump truck, but the dump truck's brakes weren't working, so.
Yeah.
I don't.
Okay.
But other than that, like I was trying to look it up and see, but
No worries.
I'll look it up for you for the next time and give you some details on it. Not details, but just kind of pull it up for you. So yeah, other than that, for the report, really, like I said, nothing major stands out. You're gonna see, you're gonna see a lot of hazards, a lot of traffic, just with the summertime. You're getting blown tires, you're getting, stuff
Mhm.
falling off trailers, people are doing yard work. But overall, for like the end of it, it was, 31 traffic stops, 15 suspicion calls, 14 alarms, 14 assists, 12 medicals, 12 animal calls, 6 hazards, 5 accidents, 3 threat calls, 3 ordinance, and then 3 littering calls. I'm guessing those littering calls are probably all in one day.
Hmm,
If you
the
ask me,
same pile of litter.
probably all. I mean, there was a bunch of mattresses one day that got dumped.
Hmm.
That or tires, it seems to be. But I believe sometime in September, we're looking at the Credit River Safety Day.
I was
We
gonna ask you
moved
about
it.
that.
It was second week in August, I believe. The problem we ran into is we had the Scott County Fair, and then we went to
Mhm.
National Night Out, and then we went to that. So we're pushing it probably to somewhere, I think the 13th maybe of September. I'll have the date set up soon, and then
Perfect.
once I get it, I'll let you guys know. But
Yep. Is the registration set up for night night yet?
Amy never got back to me.
Oh,
I'll
tell
bug her.
Amy to get
I'll-
on it.
Before I leave, I'm gonna email her again.
Perfect.
Just so that we can get everything sent out there.
Yeah, because we'd like to stand up a link on our website and everything publicized as well.
I'll get that set. So
Perfect. Awesome. Thanks, Jeff.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
take care.
Stay safe out there. All right, let's move into consent agenda. Those items on the council agenda which are considered routine or non-controversial are included as part of the consent agenda. Unless a council member specifically requests an item on the consent agenda be removed and considered separately, items on the consent agenda are considered under one motion, a second, and a vote. Any item removed from consent agenda shall be placed at the end of general business. Tonight on consent agenda, we've got 3.1, approve the minutes of the May 19th, 2025 city council meeting. 3.2, approve the letter of credit reduction for the Yellowstone of Credit River Development. 3.3, approve the letter of credit reduction for the Yellowstone Credit River Second Edition Development. And 3.4, approve payment of claims and transfer requests as presented. Is there any items on the consent agenda tonight that any council member would like to remove and consider separately?
No, good. I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda. Second.
Motion by Schomer, second by Soderberg. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Open forum. The public forum is intended to afford the public an opportunity to address concerns to the council. The public forum will be no longer than 30 minutes in length, and each presenter will have no more than 5 minutes to speak. Topics of discussion are restricted to local governmental topics rather than private or political agendas. The council may discuss but will not take formal action on public forum presentations. Nobody signed up tonight, Amy? Anybody like to speak in open forum? If you don't mind coming to there. If this is related to CSTS, would you rather have that part of the public hearing that we're going to hold for that?
Yes.
Then you probably ought to wait for
Alright,
that one. I
thank
figured
you.
that was probably the case. So let's wait for that piece to,
Sign up.
oh, if you didn't sign up, you can't talk.
Wayne Semisek, 16350 St. Francis Lane. Our town hall got rained out last week, and I just was wondering if you've set a new date for it or rescheduled.
It's on the agenda to do, it's our 7.3 under general business
All right.
tonight.
Thank
Yep.
you, guys. Thanks
Yep.
for your service.
Thank you, sir. Anybody else for open forum tonight? Seeing none, we'll close open forum and we'll move to public hearing. 6.1, public hearing regarding the amendments to the city's fee ordinance related to the community sewage treatment system rates. Administrator Jelinski.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. I'm gonna share my screen here so we can.
I don't see you join the meeting there, Steve. I only go, yeah, right there. I can't read that. Is that Steve? That's, there you go.
So back in March, middle of March, Finance Director Chase presented the CSTS rate study and increase recommendations. This is the overview of what that was. And it's the funding for operating expenses for the next year. The debt obligations, which are the bonds and interfund loan that you just approved last meeting. And then operating deficits that are still there. The council has a 3-month guideline of expense for cash on hand. And then any reserves for future projects that are needed. And again, that will take place effective July 1st. Over the last couple of weeks, we held neighborhood CSTS meetings here at City Hall for each of the 4 CSTSs. And got feedback from all of them and took that feedback that was provided to council already. And then the rate increases that they're looking at. So we'll just start with Monterey Heights. The current rate is $217.70. The proposal is actually a decrease down to $162.11. That's a 25% decrease. Territory, their current rate is $53 up. That would be a total of $146.59 is their total from where they were at. Stonebridge, prior rate was $254. There's a $10 increase, or just about a 4% increase to $264. And then South Passage, which has a cash deficit of $224,000. Their rates were at $272.70, and the proposed with a 77% increase to $483.31, which was because of the deficit and the capital expense that they have. So that is what I have currently. If anyone have any questions regarding that?
Council members, before we open the public hearing, any questions or clarify?
I just noticed on the financial impact on our agenda packet, it was that South Passage is at $465.50.
Sorry, I looked at the wrong option. Yes, you are correct. 465. That was the second option.
Yep.
Okay. Anything else, Leroy?
No, that's it.
Jay, anything?
No.
Okay, at this time then, we'll open the public hearing. This is the opportunity for residents to speak on the proposed ordinance amendment. I do ask that anybody that wishes to speak to please step to the podium and state your name and address. And Amy, do we have a sign-up sheet up on the podium at all, by chance? Maybe just grab one and toss one up there if you don't mind, please. So again, this would be a public hearing for community sewage treatment system rates and the amendment to ordinance 2025-05 and ordinance amending the city of Credit River ordinance setting certain fees to change fees related to community sewage treatment systems.
Would you like me to sign up on the sheet as well?
And as at some point, if you just don't mind signing in, you can do that after you're done too.
Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Hi, so my name is Amy Byrne. I'm an attorney. I represent South Passage Homeowners Association. I've been here before last year in regards to this matter. There's not been any progress since then. My understanding is the city has received phone calls from the South Passage board to continue discussions as it concerns this increase to their budget. And from that meeting that I attended this past month, it was very clear that the consensus is to not increase any rates at this time, especially in light of the notice of claim that was sent over to the city in October of last year. I'm happy to go into that in detail if you would like. I don't think that this is the proper forum to do so, especially because we already had a hearing on this matter, or we had a open discussion with the homeowners of South Passage. I think it's very clear that with the history of this matter going back to 2020, there are some significant factual considerations on how we got to this point, on why there is a deficit. And I'm happy to explain why that is so from my review of the various city minutes, agendas, and various documentations that we have on why the South Passage District got to the point of where they needed a replacement a year or so ago. And so I'm here today to make certain that the council understands that the people of South Passage have spoken, and their position is there should be no increase at this time. There's a meeting scheduled for this Friday to continue to discuss the matter with the city. And that was a very recent scheduling between the board and the city to continue those negotiations. Further, I don't quite understand the urgency today to set an increase in the budget, especially in light of how many months that have gone by without further discussion from the city to the South Passage homeowners. There's been no further discussion in regards to the notice of claim that was sent out. And so in light of everything, I want to make clear today that the South Passage people ask for no increase to their budget and to continue discussions with the representatives of South Passage. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions before? No? Okay. Thank you, Amy. Anybody else like to speak to the public hearing for the community sewage treatment system rates? Don't everybody get up at once?
All have private septic.
One more time, if anybody else, public hearing is still open, if anybody would like to speak for the proposed amendment to the fee ordinance setting the CSTS rates. Hearing none, I would take a motion to close the public hearing.
Make that motion.
Second.
Motion by Schomer, second by Sutterbach. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. The public hearing is now closed. We'll move to general business 7.1, amendment to ordinance 2025-05, an ordinance amending the city of Credit River ordinances, setting certain fees to change fees related to community sewage treatment systems. Council members, discussion around that amended ordinance proposed tonight.
Seeing there's gonna be a meeting on this on Friday, I think, we should leave South Passage where they're at.
So I don't think we have anything scheduled for Friday.
Oh, we don't?
It was proposed for Friday.
Oh,
Yeah, I think there was a proposed date, but I don't know that we ever settled on anything. And I think it was actually next Friday was the proposed date.
Mr. Mayor, correct me if I'm wrong, if for some reason we do have a meeting and something different is arrived at for a decision, we can certainly amend it.
Mhm.
All right.
Correct. That's my thought process, is that, I think we should approve it as proposed and then, get together with the folks from South Passage, see if we can't work out a, process, or if there's anything that we want to change, and then bring it back to the council for amendment.
Okay.
That way, we have everything in motion. We won't get any further behind. We won't create any further deficit if it takes longer. But it won't,
Yeah.
impede anything further.
and we try to keep these all at the same time and everything.
Mhm.
See that?
So if that's the will of the council, I would take a motion.
I'll make that motion.
You want a second?
Yeah, I'll second it.
Okay. Motion by Seiderbach, second by Schomer. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 3-0. General business 7.2, building official job description, Administrator Jelinski.
Thank you, Mayor and Council.
You want-
The last meeting, you approved to bring forward a job description for the building official position. So before you is that job description. We incorporated the duties and responsibilities from a few different cities that we looked at. We incorporated some of the city plan responsibilities that we did have, and also some of the responsibilities that the inspectors are doing. So that kind of have this all-inclusive position. And the rates, we put the rates in there from local surrounding cities that are within 20 miles, similar to what we've done with the other positions in the city, and weighed those, and then came to a recommendation from staff that we look at 37.40 for a wage, for starting wage. It's a little bit lower than the weighted salary that was there, just because the small cities that were on the list are bigger than our city, with more departments, more responsibilities, so. I'll take questions, comments on the position, and if you'd like to add or change. I do have some comments from Councilmember Markert, and questions that I can also bring forward once we roll it. Question.
Stephen, line in number 23, inspects and research codes, sending out non-compliance letters when necessary and follows up to ensure compliance. Is that intended to be ordinance enforcement? Okay,
That would be both inspection, enforcement, and code.
okay. As we wanted to make sure that that was more around that piece than just, building inspection compliance, okay.
Yeah, the compliance enforcement has slowed now, finally, so.
You mean the intake of new
The
complaints?
intake of new complaints, so
Now it's just finishing up the list.
now we're going back to start.
Okay. Any other questions?
Yeah, I think he actually covered everything quite well.
There's a lot of building official positions available right now. There's a lot of people.
So what you're saying is that the chances that somebody applies and takes a position is probably relatively low.
See, you don't know until we post it and see what we get.
Okay. Well, if nobody has any questions, I would be happy to take a motion.
I would like to present.
Oh, sure.
Market. The first one was ensuring that we budget for, budget less, because we were going to save money from not having a contracted inspector. I would, well, we'll discuss that when we start to do budget, but I don't think I'd like to do the entire amount, just because we may utilize the inspector contractor some. And then that all depends on what we hire at. We'll change that number too. So I do think we can reduce that budget line item, but not quite yet. The second question was, since we're anticipating saving, that was $154,000. Do we have to reduce or change the fee schedule? At this time, I say no. We did that study, or the council did that study with the finance director, and we are right in line with everyone else in surrounding, and in some cases lower. So,
Well, a lot of the fees are mandated by, their surcharges and things like that.
Mhm.
yeah. And then the last question is, do we have to do anything with our city insurance policy, since we're going to be responsible for anything that gets missed with building inspections versus using a contractor? And then do we need to increase our city liability premiums or coverage? And I'm speaking with the insurance agent, that answers no to all of those. Our coverage is adequate as is, for that.
Okay. Sounds good. All right. With that, no other questions. I would take a motion. If so inclined.
Motion
To approve.
to approve. I'll second.
Motion by Satterbach, second by Schomer. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. 7.3, discuss to reschedule the neighborhood park meeting. This would be the Country Court Park meeting that got rained, well, looked like it was gonna get rained on.
Actually, it rained on my windshield.
Did it? While you were sitting there?
Yeah,
I was thinking, I
we
mean,
had,
it never fails, right? We weren't gonna win either way.
Yeah, we had
It-
about 4 people that showed up for it.
Okay.
I stayed till 6:30 or
Yeah.
whatever, and in case somebody didn't know.
So.
So you had beer left over.
What about, what about Monday, June 23rd? Is that too short?
No. Good. I reached out to council members, Marker and. And Sadabah.
No.
Here.
Santo.
Santo, sorry. And, June 23rd and June 30th are the 2 days that work for both of them.
You good on both of them?
23rd.
Do you want to wait till the 30th? To give it one more week to advertise? We don't have one, no? Okay. We can do 23rd. I'm good on the 23rd.
Yeah, I am too.
Okay. But somebody wants to motion that so we make it official.
I'll make that motion.
Second. Thank you, Leroy. Thank you, Jay. So we've got a motion by Schomer, second by Sonderbach, all in favor to reschedule the Country Court Neighborhood Park meeting to June 23rd. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Staff and council member reports. Peter, anything? Steve? Leroy?
Dust coating got done and, hauled some more rock onto a couple of roads that needed it. Next year we have to raise our budget for, graveling the roads, probably 10,000, raise another 10,000, 15, so. So that's out there, and after the 15th, we'll start cutting the road ditches. So
Okay,
that's about it.
perfect. I'm good. I don't know anything. Jay, anything? Sue, our new interim finance director, thank you and welcome. We should have introduced you from the beginning, but sorry about that. Anything finance wise that you need to update the council on? Perfect. Amy, anything? Perfect. Sounds good. Well, I don't know how we're gonna do this because Abe's not here. How are we gonna adjourn?
Adjourn. Second.
Motion by interim Abe Leroy Schomer and second by Sonderbach. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Everybody opposed here, none. Motion passes. Thank you, everybody. Have a great evening. Get home before it storms.